One of the most expensive mistakes you can make in solar power happens before you ever plug anything in. People buy the cheapest battery they can find and then end up paying vastly more for their electricity over time. This diagram shows the confusing choice buyers face. On the left, we have a standard 12-volt, 100 amp-hour lead acid battery for $150. On the right, a 12-volt, 100 amp-hour lithium iron phosphate, or LiFePO4 battery, for $450. Faced with these identical ratings, the average beginner instinctively grabs the $150 option. They assume they just saved $300 for the exact same amount of power. Think of a battery as an energy delivery machine. Its real value depends on how much total power it can push out before it finally dies. We're going to calculate the cost per usable kilowatt-hour using actual cycle life math, because a low sticker price often hides high operational costs. We start with the basic math for stored energy. When you multiply voltage by amp-hours, you get watt-hours. 12 volts multiplied by 100 amp-hours gives us 1200 watt-hours. So on paper, both batteries hold 1.2 kilowatt-hours. But theoretical stored energy is completely different from the actual usable energy a system can safely extract. This chart shows the concept of depth of discharge. If you want a reasonable lifespan from a lead-acid battery, you cannot drain it flat. You are strictly limited to about a 50% depth of discharge. Lithium iron phosphate, however, safely operates down to an 80 or 90% depth of discharge. So from that same 1.2 kilowatt-hour block, we get 1.08 kilowatt-hours of usable energy. The lithium battery delivers almost double the daily working energy, and it does this from the exact same physical size and advertised capacity. If you ignore that 50% limit on the lead-acid battery and drain it deeply, you accelerate plate sulfation. That physical degradation permanently destroys the battery's lifespan. Many off-grid beginners accidentally ruin their new batteries within months, simply because they treat them like a fuel tank they can run down to zero. Because of these strict depth of discharge rules, when you purchase a lead-acid battery, you are mathematically only buying half of the energy you thought you were. To find the true cost of storage, we have to look at cycle life, the number of times a battery can be drained and recharged before it reaches the end of its life. When pushed to its 50% limit every day, a standard lead-acid battery generally survives only around 500 cycles. This graphic shows our lifetime energy math. We take our 0.6 usable kilowatt-hours and multiply it by 500 cycles. That yields 300 total kilowatt-hours delivered over the entire life of the lead-acid battery. Now look at the lithium comparison. A quality LiFePO4 battery may reach 4,000 cycles under proper conditions. 1.08 usable kilowatt-hours multiplied by 4,000 cycles yields over 4,300 lifetime kilowatt-hours. The disparity is massive. The lithium chemistry delivers over 14 times more total energy over its lifespan. This graph connects lifetime energy yield to initial sticker price. The lead-acid setup starts at $150, stepping up repeatedly as the battery dies and requires replacement. The lithium battery starts higher at $450, but its cost line remains flat. When we divide the initial cost by that total lifetime energy, the numbers shift. Lead-acid costs roughly 50 cents per delivered kilowatt-hour. Lithium drops to about 10 cents per kilowatt-hour. The seemingly expensive lithium battery is actually 80% cheaper to operate over a 10-year span. And this calculation doesn't even include the hidden operational costs of a lead-acid system. You factor in replacement labor, frequent system downtime, corrosion on terminals, and constant cable maintenance. The low upfront price of lead-acid guarantees an expensive, recurring cycle of replacements. Beyond financial economics, there are major electrical performance trade-offs. One of the biggest issues is voltage sag. When heavy household loads hit an inverter, things like water pumps, compressors, or power tools, a lead-acid battery bank's voltage drops sharply under the stress. As voltage drops, current rises. This triggers a negative cascade. You get higher current draw, excessive cable heating, lower efficiency, and frustrating early inverter shutdowns. Lithium batteries maintain a much flatter voltage curve. They supply stable power delivery, keeping inverter efficiency high right until the battery is nearly empty. But lithium is not magic. Neither chemistry is perfectly safe. They just carry entirely different physical hazards. With flooded lead-acid systems, the primary hazard is the off-gassing of highly flammable hydrogen during the charging cycle. This mandates strict active ventilation to prevent an explosion risk. With lithium, the risk is electrical. LiFePO4 batteries can deliver terrifyingly high fault currents instantly during a short circuit. A drop tool across the terminals can literally vaporize metal. This requires precise safety mitigation. You must use strict DC fuse protection close to the battery, proper wire gauges, and never assume the internal battery management system will catch every overcurrent fault. Lithium demands sophisticated upfront electrical protection, while lead-acid demands constant, ongoing environmental and chemical management. Advertised amp-hour capacity is only one piece of the puzzle. Without calculating voltage, depth of discharge, and cycle life, that number on the label doesn't tell you what you're actually getting. This flowchart maps our economic math to real-world scenarios. If you are a daily cycler, running a full-time off-grid cabin or a van life setup, the chart routes you directly to LiFePO4. For daily applications, absorbing the higher upfront capital of lithium is mathematically mandatory to avoid the lead-acid financial trap. But let's look at the rare use case. If the system is strictly for emergency backup, the chart recommends lead-acid. If you only drain the battery a few times a year for power outages, you will likely never hit that 500 cycle limit. Without the penalty of rapid degradation, the low upfront cost actually becomes viable. When you invest your money in solar storage, you are buying a long-term utility, not a disposable plastic box. A solar battery must be evaluated as a lifetime energy asset. True return on investment comes from usable delivered energy, never the sticker price.